got nothing.
All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. We will start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Kristen Kembenzi,
Here.
Glenn Sarka, Jennifer Cliff,
Here.
Jennifer Ray,
Here.
Cheryl Maddox Smith,
Here.
Jason Zadunik,
Here.
Cassidy Thomas. Here.
All right. Before we get rolling, I'd just like to welcome Miss Thomas to the board. And then I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Mrs. Clipp, supported by Mrs. Maddox Smith. All those in favor?
Aye.
Let's see, moving on to approving the consent agenda. I would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda, which includes the minutes of the regular meeting of December 16th, 2024.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda for the minutes of regular meeting of December 16, 2024.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Ms. Ray, supported by Mrs. Clipp. All those in favor? Aye. And moving on to elect officers for the period of January 6, 2025 to January 2026. I would entertain nominations for board president for 2025.
I would like to make a motion to approve Kristen Kembenzi as president for the period of January 5th, 2025 to January 2026.
Support. Are there any other nominations? If not, I would entertain a motion to close nominations for board president and unanimously elect the nominee as board president for the year 2025.
Okay, let's go slow here. I'm going to make a motion to close the nominations for board president. Yes, what else? That's
And
it.
to unanimously.
And to unanimously elect Kristen Kembenzi as president for the period of January 6, 2025 to January 2026.
Support. Okay, motion made by Mrs. Clipp, support by Ms. Ray. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you. Thank you for your support again. Let's see. And then I would entertain nominations for the office of school board vice president for 2025.
I'll make a motion for the position of vice president for the period of January 6, 2025 to January 2026 of Glenn Sarka.
Support. Do we have any further nominations? Okay, then I would entertain a motion to close nominations for vice president and to then elect Mr. Sarka as vice president for the year 2025.
I'll make a motion to close nominations. Sorry, it's been a long day, it really has. For vice president and to officially nominate Glenn Sarka as vice president for the period of January 6, 2025 to January 2026. Correct. All right.
Support. Okay, we have motion and support. Mrs. Maddox Smith, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, then, congratulations to Mr. Sarka for being elected Vice President for the year 2025. And I would entertain nominations for the office of School Board Secretary / Treasurer for 2025.
I'll make a motion to nominate Trustee Zedundik for Secretary Treasurer for January 2025 to January 2026.
Support.
Okay, are there any other nominations? If not, then I would entertain a motion to close nominations and elect Mr. Zedunnik as School Board Secretary Treasurer for the year 2025.
Okay, I'm going to make a motion to close nominations for the position of Secretary Treasurer, to unanimously, am I using the word unanimously? To unanimously elect Trustee Zedundik for the Secretary Treasurer year 2025. To 2026, it sounds like a time capsule.
Support.
All right, Ms. Ray supported. Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations, Mr. Zedunnik. All right, that was a lot of work.
Lots of words.
Oh, boy, oh, boy.
Should take notes before next time.
Well, I mean, I had a script. We probably should have given everybody else a script too. We'll put that in our notes for next year.
I was functioning if we did.
All right, moving on to comments from the public. We have one, Ms. Jensen.
Hello, my name's Caitlin Jensen. I live at 630 Forest Park Drive. I'm a staff member and I'm here representing two roles. I've got our Costa Rican exchange and later something quick about from MAEA. This is our third year doing our Costa Rican exchange. We partner with Liceo Experimental Bilingüe de Pocosí, which is a school in Guapiles, Limon Province. They brought us this cool little plaque this time, which now we got to think of something cool to bring them when we go there in March and April. Our guests arrived on the 27th of December after some significant travel delays out of Chicago. We've got 21 students currently and 2 teachers visiting us here from our partner school. They're staying with 15 host families, some of whom are MAP staff. Including myself, which I don't usually host, but it's what needed to be done, so that's what we did. While they've been here on break with our students, we took them luging, we went snowshoeing, we had a New Year's festivity, and some of them went to the ball drop accompanied by parent chaperones. We went bowling, we visited Green Bay and toured Lambeau Field, also got some serious shopping done. I logged some real miles at the Fox River Mall, helping people find shoes, of all things. While students had some time with their host families, they also got a chance to, some of them visited the Eben Ice Caves, a few went to Kitchitikipi, checked out Lake and Inland, and just have been spending a really fabulous time together with their host families. We're so happy that we're able to do this program. This is our third exchange with the school, and they'll be here until the 12th. They leave early Sunday morning. Friday, they'll be giving a cultural presentation during the school day. I'll be sure to let the board know when that is, and hopefully you can stop by. They'll be giving 3 different performances throughout the day. We're so happy that we're able to do this today. Our students were shadowing their host students, their host siblings, and visiting our classes tomorrow. They'll visit NMU, and then they'll be here, through Friday. So hopefully you get to interact with them either here or in the community. So I thought of this on my drive over here. switching hats. So we're in a new year, and so I'm switching to my MAEA hat. I just wanted to express on behalf of our members and myself first, welcome to our board. Some of us, some new and some not, and to just say that we as a group are really happy about the relief that came through just before, or just like right before break, for the insurance costs. A lot of us were looking at a huge increase in our insurance costs. For me personally, my out-of-pocket, or what I pay per pay period, was set to almost double. And I could, one of the options that was presented to us was like, well, you could consider moving to a different plan. For my particular health situation, I can't. I need ongoing monitoring because of, to monitor for recurrence of breast cancer, which I was lucky enough to catch super early, 3 years ago around this time. And so knowing that I had my insurance where I know what my costs are going to be, one of the big, concerns when you have a diagnosis like that is, oh my gosh, in addition to processing it, is how much is this going to cost? And switching to a plan that would have had something like co-insurance would have meant I would have been looking at, even after hitting my deductible, paying additional amounts out of that. And so I was really glad that 3 years ago when I got that diagnosis, that at least I know, well, at least I know it's covered. I know I got, my deductible is met, and now I can just focus on my health and my students and making sure everything is good to go, before I had that surgery. So we recognize that this is going to be a lot of extra work for our central office staff, and we really just want to let you know we appreciate that so much, the work that you're doing to make sure that's set and good to go for us. It was just a big relief for us to see that, and hopefully that was for you all too as our as our board. So thank you so much.
Can you hold that sign up again?
Oh, absolutely. If you're not familiar with Costa Rican wildlife, this is a sloth. A three-toed sloth. There are both three-toed and two-toed sloths. So that's great. Yeah, they're super cute.
What are the ages of the exchange students? High school, or is it?
Yeah, we have students as young as 14 and some as old as 17. So this is a bilingual high school. They're super pumped to be able to come and use their English in an authentic setting, and to find some snow, which we were a little bit like, sorry. We took them to Nagani the first 2 days they were here. There's plenty of snow in Nagani, and then other people went to go find it in Alger County too.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to new business. Organizational meeting issues. Do we have to,
And we, in the past, just
Done it all at
said
one
a
time?
motion to approve items 1 through 7 as presented. If
Okay.
you're in agreement with all of them.
okay. All right, so I guess I would entertain a motion to cover organizational meeting issues 1 through 7, which includes, do I have to read the stuff that's included?
I don't think we need to read it. It'll be in the minutes.
Sounds good.
It's on the agenda.
Okay. So I would entertain a motion to approve the organizational meeting issues 1 through 7.
I'll make a motion to approve the organizational meeting issues number 1 through 7. I did have a question prior to final, both of them.
Okay. Do I have support?
Support.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Zududnik, support by Mrs. Klipp. Any comments or questions?
Either Mr. Sedgwick or Mr. Landman, if you could provide just a brief overview of number 3 for the authorization for approval of purchase orders for all MAPS administrators. I'm assuming it's fair to assume we have in policy somewhere where there's reasonable established policies in place for control or review of purchase orders at the different buildings, and if there's policies that cover the different hierarchies or amounts.
Yes, we do, and I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Lampman to give some detail, but the short answer is yes, everything flows through the central office.
Yes, in regards to purchase orders, administrators can initiate a purchase order in the system. Our purchase orders are broken down into various groups. For instance, principals at each building or various departments. And so they have access to utilize the accounts within their own specific budgets. So each group is broken down specifically into their particular area. So they can't go beyond their building, their group, however it's designed in the system. And then there is an approval process that takes place as well. As far as purchasing goes, once a purchase order is initiated and approved, the invoice ultimately comes to central office, and there's an accounts payable person that invoice would go through. She would enter that data into the system, and then that goes through an approval process whereby myself or our Director of Business Operations, Mr. Lasich, has to physically go in and review and approve that invoice before there can be a check cut or payment processed for it. So we do have a pretty tight system in that regards.
Mr. Lampman, could you remind me, what is the amount in which it has to go in front of the board for approval?
So currently it's the established state approved purchasing threshold, which changes on an annual basis. Currently it's $30,512. But the state of Michigan updates that on an annual basis.
Thank you.
Thank you. And real quick follow-up, when approximately on number 7 for the Thrun Law Firm, when was it fairly recently moved over to them, or have we, right? I can't remember. January of last year. So during that time period, is everybody that is working with them happy with the relationship and the services provided?
Yeah, we've had True Non-Retainer for quite some time as legal counsel. The major change January of last year was that we moved to their policy service.
Yep.
So they were always, not always, but for just like, I guess, recent years, been our legal counsel. We thought having their policies would be appropriate since they were oftentimes the ones helping us interpret them. So that was the biggest change.
Have been happy with
We have, yes, and we have been pleased with them, but they work with us on all fronts: finance, personnel, interpreting contracts, and many other functions that we definitely benefit from their expertise.
Thank you.
Okay, any further comments or questions? Okay, then we have a motion by Mr. Zednik, supported by Mrs. Klipp. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Let's see. Set board meeting dates for 2025. I believe that everyone has that in their packet. So I would entertain a motion to accept to set the board meeting dates for 2025 as presented.
I'll make a motion to accept the board meeting dates for 2025 as seen in the attachment.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Ms. Ray, supported by Mr. Zednik. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Moving on to gifts and bequests. John Prince of JP Electric Professionals Incorporated, donation of $3,500 for clothing support for MAP students. I did have a clarifying thing. Is this something per our new policy that we should be, as a board, accepting? Making,
We actually don't need to accept this. It is more, it's not within the threshold of acceptance, but
Okay.
it is substantial, and I knew the board would be, when I acknowledge it.
okay, thank you. I knew that when our board policy changed that there,
Yeah.
okay. I just wanted to double check. And then moving on to board member comments. We'll start with our newest board member, Ms. Thomas.
I've never done this before. I just wanted to thank everybody for welcoming me and for being so good at teaching me what I'm supposed to do. I got a huge binder full of stuff. I read it every night. So I'm getting all warmed up. I'd like to thank anybody who voted for me or who participated in the election cycle. And just, yeah, thanks guys. I'm really excited to start.
Thank you. Mrs. Maddox-Smith.
Welcome, Cassidy. I love your nighttime reading. Thanks to all of our executive committee that stepped up and to do the work of the district. We really appreciate that, and just this is an awesome board to work with. We work well together, and just want to acknowledge that. Thanks, you guys, and thanks, Cliff, for all that good wording. Again, thanks to our wonderful community, JP Electric. I mean, that's just awesome, the stuff that our community does for our kids. We live in a great place. And I love the update on the Costa Rican students. I hope I get to see one of the presentations. Thank you.
Mrs. Clip.
Just congratulations to Cassidy and to Echo. Thank you so much for everybody who stepped up and accepted the nominations for the executive committee. It's a lot of work, and we really look and lean on your leadership. Thank you, of course, to JP Electric. That is a substantial donation, and it's for a very good cause. It's been very cold the last couple days. And again, thanks to the board. It's just a pleasure to work with you on behalf of kids.
Mr. Zdenek.
Just echoing thank you to John Prince and JP Electric for the donation. Very generous, much appreciated. Welcome, Cassidy, and Happy New Year, everyone.
Ms. Ray.
Well, not to be too redundant, thank you to, yes, JP Electric. Our community does continue to always step up and support the kids within it. And it is great to be here to be able to see those things that the community does. Costa Rica, love Costa Rica, and I've had exchange students stay with us in the past, and it's just such a great thing that it continues. And it's been going on for many, many years, so I like to see that continue to happen and that growth that it brings to our community, but also to the students that then go to Costa Rica. Just want to say thanks to everybody stepping up and leaning in. Thank you all for being willing to be part of the what is the word I'm looking for? Executive committee, thank you. You'll all understand at some point why it's been a long day, but, and welcome. Excited to have new insight and new perspective, so thanks so much.
Thank you. Moving on to board president comments. Thank you, John Prince and JP Electric, for your donation. It's much appreciated by everyone in our MAPS community. I'd like to thank Mr. Zdenek for being willing to be the Secretary Treasurer. We shouldn't have too many more executive meetings, but.
Well, I'm a little disappointed. I think her binder is bigger than mine.
Don't worry, you have one coming too.
Thank you.
And welcome, Cassidy, again for being part of our board. yeah, I'm looking forward to, for a new year with this board, and thank you guys so much. Announcements and other meetings, January 2025, Martin Luther King Jr. Day, no school. January 21st, 2025, board meeting, regular, here in the library at 5:30. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, motion made by Mr. Zudnik, support by Mrs. Klipp. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes.